Roll call. Felix Garcia. Here. Sarah Kirby.
Here.
Stephanie Knez.
Here.
Mark Nordigan.
Present.
Tim Stocker. Daniel Geske. Both Geske is asked to be excused. I've not heard from Tim. Youth and Governance, Jonathan Plenty.
Here.
And Clara Koch. Okay. Any citizens' comments? Any citizens' comments? Any citizens' comments? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed.
It's clear.
Supervisors' comments.
Claire she did tell me she wasn't going to be here at this. I'm sorry. I thought you both weren't going to be. And I was like, oh, he's here today. Okay.
So Claire will be excused as well.
Yeah.
Any other supervisor comments? Supervisor comments? All right, seeing none. My comments. So this is our first meeting since I have been appointed to the board and to the chair. All I asked during any of these is that we respect each other, don't talk over each other. Please recognize to speak. We certainly may agree or disagree on things, but that's all I asked, is that we respect each other for committee. I think there will be some significant things coming forward, such as the ethics and the rules of the county board, which I think are extremely important that this committee will get to weigh in on. Just to give you an update on that, they were referred to this committee. However, they were referred to the executive committee as well, and the executive committee has not finalized their version. So when that is finalized, it's my understanding they will come to this committee and then it will go back to the county board. So we have the minutes from April 3rd. None of us that are on this committee were here. I read them. They appear to be in order, so it would just be a motion to approve as presented.
Move to approve.
Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Well, those all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimous. All right. Item 7, resolution supporting the Kenosha-Racine-Milwaukee KRM regional rail line. I had asked for this resolution to be brought back. I know that it was in front of the, well, I'll say it was in front of the county board for a referral. It was referred to committees, and I believe it died in committee. So I don't believe the county board got to act on that. I will mention that this committee, when we get to the ethics and rules, I am dumbfounded, to say the least, that most of this stuff does not go back to the board. It amazes me that 3 potential board members or supervisors can kill an item, you know, for, so again, not for this meeting, it doesn't mean anything, but I feel this is an important resolution. I'm not going to read the entire resolution. I'm sure you've all read that. I will make some comments on why I believe it's important to bring it forward, but I will open it up to any supervisors first if they would like to comment. Mr. Norrie.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. How is the city of Kenosha done? Has it been brought forth to them at all? And the city, they approved it?
Yeah, City of Kenosha approved this the week prior to it not passing the county board.
Okay, all right. I was on the executive committee when we turned this down. I agree with you, by the way, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't go with the ethics, because it took that power out of the hands of the chair. So I would like to bring up the city of Kenosha, the city of Racine, the city of Milwaukee, and the city of South Milwaukee have all approved this. However, Kenosha County, Milwaukee County haven't had a word in it, not according to this resolution. I represent the west part of the county. When this came up prior to that, we had sent this out to all of the municipalities out there. 80% did not want anything to do with it because it did not benefit them. We understand it will benefit City of Kenosha, Pleasant Prairie, and Summers, no question about it. But we represent the entire county. And when 70% or 70,000 people of the county out of 170,000 get no benefit from this, I would have a hard time passing it. I understand there's no money here. They're just saying, look for support. But what passenger rail system between, I can't think of any one that makes money. It all has to be subsidized by federal, state, or local taxes. I believe this will be the case here because there's been no case that I've ever read about or heard about. And I could be wrong, but I've not, from what I know of. This is going to cost taxpayers money eventually if it gets approved. So I'm against this simply for the reason it was failed before. Out of the people out of the West, I have all the respect that the city of Kenosha would definitely benefit from this. And I think it ought to be in their hands and they ought to be the ones. And it shouldn't be the county. No other county has, at least in this resolution, I've not heard of any other county that's either coming before or approving it based off this resolution. So that's where I am with it. And thank you.
Okay. Any other support?
So I have been a commuter in the past. I would say I disagree that this wouldn't benefit people in the county. Because if I lived in the county and I didn't have to drive all the way to Chicago and I was able to just drive to Kenosha and then get on a train to go to Chicago, I would take advantage of that. So I do think, especially since there's no money on the line right now, this is a feasibility study. It definitely makes me feel a lot more comfortable. Obviously, once we see the numbers, we definitely have to take another look at it. But as someone who has used commuter services in the past, I really think this is a smart idea. It opens up more opportunities. It has the opportunity to increase our population in Kenosha County. This is seen as a suburb and a place to live, hopefully a place to work. But we are between Milwaukee and Chicago, so that opens up employment opportunities. So I do support this resolution.
And I will just add, I agree with everything Sarah said. I'm a person who takes the train to work every day on the Metro, and I wouldn't have been able to move to Kenosha if that were not an option. But to Sarah's point of people from the county could benefit, I do know people who take the Metro who drive from Janesville to take the Metro. I think that's extreme, but I do know that there are people who do that so that they can commute by train. So I think that it does, if we're opening up commuting to Milwaukee as well as to Chicago, that is going to benefit people in the region, not just people in the city.
Yeah, the comment you said commute to Chicago, this is nothing to do with Chicago. We
Right.
already have trains down to Chicago. We have hundreds of millions of dollars in road structure that we are paying for with our taxes now to be used. I will tell you, people who need to commute to Chicago, who want to from the west, get in Fox Lake and to commute down from there. So there's already methods of doing that. Going to Milwaukee, believe me, they're not going to come down here. They're not going to drive 40 minutes down here when they can get on the I or on 36 and drive up there. So I'm just saying, from the standpoint of the people whom I represent, this is nothing that they would support. But again, there's hundreds of millions of dollars in roads that we have in place. That's why for here, where you have dense population, you don't obviously need to use the roads. You're used to a lot of public transportation. That's why we moved out there. It wasn't something that we felt we needed. And the people down here, I respect that. That's their lifestyle. That's what they want to be like. But I just don't see where this is going to be a benefit for the entire county. And that's why I think it just should stay within the cities, because they're the ones who are in villages that are along the lakefront. They're the ones who are definitely going to benefit out of something like this. And I appreciate your opinions, because they do. You're right. People do commute, but they aren't going to come down here. They're already found their way to commute. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote to approve this just for the study, depending on the cost and on taxpayer dollars. That'll be my final answer if this ever does go further than just a study.
I have one question, just in terms of the feasibility study, do we expect to come out of that study a more specific breakdown of how it will be funded? So percentage of city versus county, et cetera. I would assume that would be next after the feasibility study.
Right, the study is supposed to do all of that.
Right.
And I'll get into my reasons why I think the county should be involved. Again, I'm very close to Supervisor Garcia in the vote. I don't know that I would support in the end putting any money into this. But I think there's benefits of the county having a say into this, and I'll get into those. But before I do that, Jonathan, anything, or you don't have to, I'm just.
I'll talk. I also represent the West, and I was talking with my dad about this the other day. He did used to work at Baird, the big Baird building in Milwaukee, and he tried taking public transportation for a while, and it just economically was worse. It was easier for him to drive. It was easier for him to pay the $120 parking pass a month, and it was cheaper for him to do that too. And we redid the numbers a few days ago when I saw the resolution. And again, I think it's about $5 a day that you're saving by driving instead of taking a train all the way out here. So that's all I would have to say.
Okay. Any other supervisors wish to speak?
Any other one?
I didn't know I had that opportunity. Well, I remember 20 years ago meeting a couple in town here. They were two professors, and one of them was a professor in the Chicago area. The other one was a professor at WM. And one got to take the train and the other one had to drive. And so I remember that person, that couple saying, it would be great if we both had that opportunity. So that's just two people, right? But to your point, there's a development going on downtown Kenosha. There's growth projected in Kenosha County. If we can have more professional people coming into our community so that they can travel and work in both Milwaukee and transportation. I understand the position of the people on the west that doesn't necessarily benefit them, but overall, we should look at the overall opportunity for the county and weigh that as part of our decisions.
Thank you. So I would just, I don't like to get into correcting things, but Supervisor Nordigan had mentioned 70,000 people. And it's about 40,000 that, the city is 100,000, Pleasant Prairie is 20,000, and Summers was 10,000. So 130,000 of the total 170,000 are east here. But that beside the point, again, I think going back to my philosophy is that I think the entire county should do this. I do hope, and again, the last, I believe time this was there, they got into that whole discussion of west versus east. I hope we don't get into that. Again, I happen to agree it's what's in the best interest of the county. A park out in Twin Lakes probably doesn't help the city people, but again, as I vote as a county board supervisor, if it's out there, I certainly support that. So I think some of the benefits here, again, as I clearly wrote this, was there is no financial commitment whatsoever at this time, and I don't know that there ever will be. And again, I don't know that I'd ever support that. But I do think the county board supporting this feasibility study, and I think there's reasons for that. I think participating in a light rail focused group offers Kenosha County several benefits. And of those, I think we as the county have the ability to shape the future, contribute to shaping the light rail system development and improvements. Shouldn't just be on the city. Maybe there's benefits of other entities that should do that. I think it's valuable for all of us to share our perspectives on insight and opinions as a user or potential user of the transit. I am not a person that uses the public transit, but I think I look at this as, how does it benefit the county as a whole? I think I look at it as an improvement in the community. How does it help create a more efficient, sustainable, and connected transportation system, as was brought up? The city is expanding downtown. Hopefully, there's a couple of thousand apartment units downtown, and the Chrysler site, if that fully develops, there's a couple thousand there. And again, certainly we all know the interstate corridor is just busy with businesses, and You know, there's a potentially extremely large developer coming in that the city's working with. And part of these, when I deal with them on my day job, is they ask about these things. What is the rail system? They asked about Metro frequently. And again, that's, as Mr. Nordigan pointed out, is a Chicago. But these are very frequent topics we get. I think the simple fact that the county supports this is we enhance our knowledge. We learn about light rail planning, operations, and the benefits of it. It also sets out for network opportunities. You meet. We have had a meeting in the city already with the group from Racine. Again, I don't expect this committee or anybody necessarily on it to serve there, but to have a county represent, so at least the county's opinion and viewpoint is there, I think is extremely important. When we do this, and you're meeting with fellow community members that are transportational and decision makers. So, you know, our network of knowledge of individuals that you meet with, I think, are here. Again, there very well could be a transit thing in the Wheatland area that, you know, now we have connections we deal with. So again, I look at this as a much different personally. I think we make a difference in our input. We influence decision and positive changes. And if this fails, it fails. I'm not one that is there. Again, this is where I believe the county board, there's 23 of us that were elected. 3 or 4 people shouldn't be able to kill an idea. That just doesn't set well with me. Isn't reason why I think this should pass, but you know, I think this county being involved keeps us informed of what is going on in the progress. Right now, county killed the resolution of the previous one. They have no reason, no desire to tell the county board what's going on with this rail project. Again, there's communication between the city administration and the county administration, but I think it's different. Again, I see my position as a county board supervisor much different. So, and I think we're representing an underrepresented group that ensures diversity perspectives is represented in this planning process. So those are my reasons for doing it. Again, there's reasons I think you wouldn't. Lack of interest, you know, there's no personal stake or interest in light rail. I could argue that. I don't take the train. I'm not interested in it. But again, you know, time commitments. I don't see that as a barrier in this for anybody. The county can assign somebody to represent this, and you know they can do that. You know, personal opinions aren't aligned. You know, I again, when I vote on certain items tonight, that probably be different than some of your votes. But you know, you vote for what you believe your constituents do, but I also vote for what's I think in the best interest of the county. So again, I think when I wrote the resolution and you know, to Mr. Nordigan's point, I also drafted the city resolution that was there. I took several things out of that I didn't feel were appropriate for the resolution that I brought forward. I guess I should give Mr. Cardamone. I sent him my draft and he put it into this format, but it's not changed dramatically. But there were certain things I think the city, I can't speak to other individuals that have signed on to it, haven't followed that. So I don't know if other counties are. But again, I think I wrote it. And my way is that it gives the county some stake in this potentially as it moves forward or doesn't move forward. I would stand here and tell you, I am not committing one dime or expecting one dime to be committed to this project whatsoever. It's just to have more knowledge and get involved in it. So those are my points of why I think we should approve this. Any other supervisor comments?
I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry. Has the city done a study? Are they having?
No.
Because
The city of Racine, no, city of Racine got the $5 million to conduct the study.
And we're just signing on to it, right? Or like approving.
Just to be part of that group,
Right.
so you can have your input.
Right.
Yeah.
So that $5 million.
So the city has a representative.
County, or is that divided?
No, it was a one-time thing to the city of Racine. They applied for the grant in essence and got it. Yeah, no, the city of Kenosha has nothing to do with that. We have a representative that attends the meetings, and they had one a few weeks ago down here, and I think there's one coming up in the next week or two. So, no, the money is allocated from the feds directly to Racine to put this together. You know,
Okay.
I could certainly speak on things I think that if this passed would benefit the city, and rail crossings would be upgraded, and there's certainly a lot of rail crossings that need to be upgraded from, you know, the Racine County line down, but, again, those are things that I think people should be talking about, and I also think, I'll call them just a second, you know, as Mr. Nordigan said, maybe the people from the west would say, I don't see these benefits, and bring those forward. You know, not having this discussion, not allowing it to be there, those don't get hurt either, other than there was a no vote.
They have no clue what this is gonna look like, where it's gonna go, what's gonna happen. So when say they're gonna update railroad crossings, they're not gonna update every railroad crossing in this, you know, in the city of Racine, Kenosha, and Milwaukee, that's for sure. They're just gonna update railroad crossings where they're going to be putting this, correct?
On the rail that it would be on.
Yeah, the rail.
They do know
Yeah,
which
they
rail it
don't
would
they don't
be.
even know where it's gonna be at, right?
No, they do know
Oh, they do.
which
know.
rail it is. Yeah, it's the rail that comes into the metro here and,
Okay.
and goes up. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not,
Executive Committee, they said, no, we have no idea right now. We don't know nothing. So,
But my understanding is the plan is it is the rail here and it would come to the Kenosha train station.
yeah.
So
So,
that's the rail and those railroad. Yeah, they're not gonna upgrade every railroad, but
yeah,
there are
Yeah.
crossings in that path
Right.
that clearly need to be upgraded. So,
some of those have been updated on the county roads already,
yes,
but, the city has a representative there now and they're already working with them, correct?
yes, we have a city representative that serves on the, I guess I'll just call it a task force or
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe we should have a county one, is why I brought it to them. All right, anybody, else? Go ahead.
Sorry, I did also want to
okay.
point out that we do have the Metro. The Metro is great. I love that we have the ability to commute down to Chicago and the places in between. It's also very slow. So light speed rail, that would definitely be a benefit. But again, like I said, we're not committing any money. If we were asked to commit money, I don't know that my answer would be the same. I think assessing feasibility is working.
And as you pointed out, just having someone there that can report back so that we can contribute to the conversation is kind of the point of participating in the study as well.
And I'm assuming some of this rail line will run through Kenosha County, even
Yeah.
if it isn't serving that portion.
Right.
So having a say would be important.
When are these, is it a committee? When we're seeing that,
Yes.
when are, do you know when these are held? Is it once a month?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know. I can get you that information.
I would like to
I
attend.
think
it.
there's a meeting coming up. Definitely calendar to know what
I'd be
exactly that
interested.
is, but.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussion? I prefer to have all the discussion we have. We have another supervisor, any discussion that you'd like to?
Kind of came in late.
Yeah, it's all right, we haven't,
That's the chair you gotta sit in when you're back.
Yeah, off to the side.
It's the naughty
all right, so we need a motion.
I move to approve the resolution.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed?
Post.
Okay, chair votes aye. All right,
You asked our youth governance to
Oh.
go, we usually have.
oh, that's right, I should have, nope, I should have, right. So,
You should have both sides.
I said it with everybody else.
what'd you say?
I said aye.
But you're correct, I should have asked him
Yeah,
for his.
usually the yigs, we go first.
Yep.
So, put you on the spot, right?
Well, as we should. We have the youth here for a reason. I think we need an adjournment. I have nothing else on the agenda.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, been moved to second. If you all want to stay, we can stay for another half.
Aye.
But,
I gotta go.
all in favor?